So there is a lot on the line here in West Allis, and the man out front leading the team both literally and figuratively, Apollo Anton Ono. He is a star, but he's definitely a part of a team.
We need each other to train. You know, I can't train by myself, and they can't train without me. So it's definitely a team. It's a team environment in the fact that we're all pursuing the same goal, but when we're doing it, it's totally individual.
Ono will be joined by 6 other skaters here in the men's 1,500-meter final. Let's meet them and see who will line up at the line vying for a U.S. national championship. In lane 1, he's from Michigan, one of the older skaters in the program, Mike Corman, 26 years old, and he will be right next to the crowd favorite and the race favorite, Apollo Anton Ono. At age 22, he's already accomplished quite a bit. Alex Izakowski is just coming on in the sport, already threatening a little bit, making some noise. He will be in lane 3. Next to him, 14 years old, J.R. Selski from out in the state of Washington. Watch him certainly down the road. Here's another Western skater, Rusty Smith from California. He has been an Olympic medalist in the past. J.P. Kepka coming on, St. Louis, Missouri. He's a very powerful skater. This is the type of race that could suit well for him. And here's a skater who is making a bit of a splash.
He really is. Jordan Malone, only been skating 2 years in his first final at a national championship. He's got to be nervous.
So they go to the line. You'll hear the gun. That will start the skaters off. There is such a thing as a false start. They'll try to avoid it here. So they go to the line. You'll hear the gun. That will start the skaters off. There is such a thing as a false start. They'll try to avoid it here.
They will, and usually you're not going to see a false start in the 1,500 meters. The start's not incredibly important. What you're going to see now is a lot of jockeying for position, but always everybody's going to wonder and want to know exactly where Apollo is.
We're talking about 13 and a half laps in this race, and obviously if you're going to skate for 13 and a half laps, you're not going to put it all out there right away, Andy. So as we watch these skaters, and maybe for parts of our audience who are not particularly familiar with short track speed skating, what is in the mind of the skater right here?
Well, at this point, you're just trying to get a feel for the ice. You're trying to figure out what everybody else is going to do. We've got some new, younger skaters in this race. Selski, Izakowski, they've never been in this final before. They're going to be nervous. They're not exactly sure what they're going to be doing, and the other skaters aren't sure what they're going to be doing either. And then you've got the 2 veterans, Rusty Smith and Apollo Ono. Everybody's going to be watching them.
Obviously, everybody tightly bunched right now. As the speeds pick up, some of that close contact can lead to actual physical contact. Is that allowed?
It's not allowed. Now, some contact is a little bit like basketball. You're not supposed to touch, but sometimes you do. If it's very flagrant and you impede the progress of the other skater, you could get disqualified.
We're watching Apollo Ono. J.P. Kepka is a skater I mentioned earlier. This is the type of race that suits up well for him. And moving to the front, there is the youngster, Jordan Malone.
And that's an impressive move by Jordan to get to the front. Again, he's young. He's never been in his position. He doesn't have a lot of experience, but he's shown he does have a lot of guts to get to the front of this type of race and try to lead these guys out. It's always safer to be in front than to be in back.
Speaking of being in front, where is Ono?
Ono right now is sitting in the middle of the pack. Everybody's waiting to see what he's doing and where he's going to go. He'll move to the front anytime he wants, and he just moved into 3rd place with ease.
Now, the other skaters certainly know he's a very, very large threat out there. Do they feel him, or are they worried about their own race?
Well, they feel him at all times, but they're worried about their own race. And Izakowski out here in front doing a nice job of setting the pace.
The pace is picking up as we near the end of this 13-and-a-half lap race. With 1 to go, we'll hear a bell. What does that symbolize?
Well, exactly 1 to go, and you're going to see Ono and Rusty Smith try to get to the front of this race and control it from that point. When they get to there, it's going to be very difficult to beat either one of those guys.
Ono pulling out. You can hear there's the bell. 1 lap to go. Clearly the race is for 2nd or 3rd here.
It is, and Apollo's just easily going to the front, showing just how strong he truly, truly is. An impressive race by him, and actually a pretty easy one.
Look at the action at the back of the pack here. A crash into the wall. How is this scored?
Well, the referee's going to have to take a look and see what had happened. But usually when you see a fall like that, especially towards the end of the race, you're probably looking at a disqualification.
Okay, well, let's go back through the end here. Here is Ono pushing to the lead. Very powerful, very low as he goes on the outside.
He really does. He makes it look a lot easier than it actually is to pass on the outside. Obviously, you have to be going faster than the other skaters. But when you do that, you come by with a lot of speed and you get some separation.
Now, this is what happens as Apollo Ono crosses the line.
And it looks like there's going to be a disqualification. When you see a crash like that, especially at the end of the race, you can count somebody's going to get disqualified.
Everybody's fighting for the same bit of ice. Ono didn't have any problem with that. Of course, he was way out in front. Here you go. Official results, the men's 1500. Ono the winner, the 2 disqualifications at the back.